Alright, got another carburetor video. This is a stihl fs45. Needs the carburetor fully rebuilt, not just cleaned. Every time you try to start it, it takes, the last time I tried to start it a couple days ago, it took about 50 pulls and it wouldn't even stay running. So it's really a simple job. It's two 5/16 nuts right here. I already slightly loosened them. I don't think anything's ever been done to this trimmer. Not that I can remember. This trimmer's actually a couple years older than me. My dad bought this. This is his trimmer, actually. I think it's 20, close to 30 years old. And that comes off. And the carburetor's right here. You can see it's a little bit dirty in there, to say the least. So you're going to need a flat screwdriver or even those pliers. And always open your gas tank to let the pressure out, because gas will come spewing out of those lines if you don't. We did service this not too long ago. Spark plug and air filter, that stuff. It does need a new throttle cable. It's kind of in bad shape. Hang on, I gotta see in here real quick. It's kind of stuck. On what? There we go. Okay, now to get the throttle cable out, you need to open the little butterfly. Get the cable out of its little spot, and then you slide it out. Yeah, you can see that cable is just about through, so I'm going to be gentle with it. And a little bit of force, the carburetor will slide off. And I'm going to grab a rag real quick to wipe that off with. Okay, I didn't get a new gasket. I really should have. Hang on, I'm going to check the angle real quick here. I'm going to turn you a little bit. There we go. Just getting the surface junk off of the carburetor. I'll spray out the fuel in there. Should have done it on the ground. Well, at least I'll have solvent to clean the carburetor off. Okay, I'm gonna pause the camera real quick and change the angle a little bit so you can see better. Okay, got it changed. So to take the carburetor apart, it's very, very simple. You hear all the cars? That's why I usually have the door closed so you guys can hear. I'll put the rag down so I don't get gas everywhere. You can use a flat or a Phillips on these. It's got the slot for both. It got really nice out all of a sudden. I think it might have been just today. It got almost cold out. It's actually early October, and we were just in almost 90 a couple days ago. 88, 85. It's not been a very fun year. Okay, don't look too bad on that side. The metering diaphragm is under this cover. These 4 screws will be a bit longer, looks like. But I figured it was, since it was so nice out, I would have the door open. I think I'm going to switch to the Phillips. It's easier to hold in there. I've done so many of these carburetors, I can do it without having to look at any pictures or anything. But like I said, it's not a hard job. Now for somebody who's never done it before, it might be a little bit of a challenge, because there is a couple, you do gotta have it right. But once you do it 3-4 times, you got it down. It's very oily, so it's hard to grip onto the screws. And just gently lift up. I'm kind of want to save that metering diaphragm so I could see what shape it was in. Peel off the carb. Okay, so the order that it goes in is, let me check here so I don't give you something wrong. It looks like gasket. The gasket goes on the carburetor, then the diaphragm goes on top of the gasket, which the diaphragm's not too bad a shape. It's a little bit on the stiff side. Not dirty in there. Just needs a good cleaning is all. It's a tiny jet right there. I'm not going to do all the welt plugs and all that. I have never done that before. And also, I don't think there's a problem with these. You're going to fill up that screen there with some kind of liquid, and then press on that little lever at the bottom, or the other side, and see if it goes through. Oh, you might have a little bit of a problem here. Maybe this here is the hard starting. Yeah, that's not going through. That should drop right out of there. Just gently blow through every hole. I wouldn't recommend using compressed air in the carburetor, just because there's so many little pieces and parts that you could damage. But gently blowing it with carb spray isn't going to hurt it. So I'm going to get a little pick and get the screen out real quick here. Okay, so to take the screen out, you just let me stand up over here. All you do is just take your little pick, kind of, hang on here, kind of get in there and just try to peel up a corner. I'm not too worried about saving that screen because I got a new one. Hang on, I got to get it out. Kind of stuck down in there now. Hang on, I'll pause it real quick so you don't have to watch me dig this out. Okay, so I got the old screen dug out. It kind of accidentally poked it down into the hole where the jet is, so that's why I was having trouble. Now I'll fill that little pocket up with cleaner and see if it goes through. And if it does, then that tells me that there was a problem with the screen. Nope. Still not going through. So what that means, which I was hoping I didn't have to do, is that I have to take out this rocker arm assembly. The reason why I didn't really want to do that is because there's a spring and it's very hard to get back together. Yeah, it's already wanting to fly out of there. Just gotta hold on to it and be very careful. I do have a new spring and all that in the rebuild kit, so if I do lose it, I can just put a new one in. I don't think it comes with a new screw. And you just want to hold it on the table so when it does fly, it can just fall on the table. Should have picked a cleaner rag. Yeah, I know. Okay. Like that, it's going through perfectly. So I don't know why it wouldn't go through before. I'll just clean that off. I don't think I'm going to put the needle in there, the new one. I'll save that for something else because this one is fine. Usually in 2-strokes, they don't go bad as often as the 4-stroke. If I can grab a hold of it. Uh-oh. Okay, so I need a new one of those in the kit. And it looks like it comes with it. So thankfully, it does. I got this off of Amazon. It's just a generic kit. I don't know how long it'll last, but should last a good little while. If we can get another 20 years out of this carburetor being rebuilt, that'll be worth it. Which I don't know if the trimmer will last another 20 years. And then the needle goes in that little, can you see? I think so. The needle goes in that little, let's see, goes in there. I'm trying to look at the camera and the needle at the same time. And then you drop the needle into the hole of the carburetor. But this here is the trickiest part. And then you just push it. You kind of have to get it all aligned. And the spring looks like it's fine. Stick the screw back in the hole. Grab the, and then just try to make these videos not boring. I know it's don't seem like I try, but I do. I try not to bore you guys with 3.5 people that watch me. You just want to tighten it until it stops. No farther. So it moves good. Put a little bit of cleaner in the hole. Alright, it went through. So I guess it was clogged up. Now, we do need to get this primer bulb in here. Get a new one. Kind of. Yeah, that one is on the way out. It's slightly on the brittle side. Make sure that they're both the same size. They appear to be the same. Stick it in there. I will blow this off a little bit. Blow in that jet. The passageway, I guess. Whew. Try getting in my eyes. Set that back on. Like that. It'll squish down there once you get it tight on the carburetor. Next step, let's just make sure that those are the same that they gave me. If I don't ruin it. And they're the same. That's got a little bit of dirt on there. I'll spray that off. This is a non-adjustable carburetor. It's got the idle speed, but... And then there's a gasket. So the gasket goes against the plate. So I'll grab the gasket. Just basically match it up with the shape. Can you guys still see? Yeah. And then this here goes on kind of like that. I think this here is the pumping diaphragm, and then the other one is the metering diaphragm. So there's that part done. Now, just make sure that these are the same metering diaphragms, and they are. Good. Okay. Grab the gasket. So it went on like that. So gasket, then diaphragm. Okay, and also, you need to pay attention. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video, but the stem in the middle of that diaphragm, can you see that? Yeah, right there, that middle part, that is what pushes on this rocker arm, and you need to make sure that those are both the same, that you have the same length. Because this kit covers several models, including the 4 mixes, so you need to make sure that you have that right. And each one could be different. Hang on, let me just make sure I put that gasket on there right. And I did. One time I accidentally messed that up and I put the gasket on this side of the carburetor and couldn't figure out why the thing wouldn't start. Okay, got one screw started. Got another screw in there. And go ahead and tighten it down. I definitely would recommend not using an impact. A drill, yeah, I can see a drill. Just run them down till they seat with the drill and then finish it with a screwdriver, because you don't want to, you know, if your carburetor is still good and just needs new gaskets and diaphragms and clean, then you just ruined a good carburetor body because you were in a bit of a hurry. And just, you know, they need to be snug, but not so tight that they break off or strip out. And then here's the other side. So I'll give it a quick spray in case it's got dirt on it. And then here's this. Most of the time, this cover here has your idle speed adjustment. So that means that that goes over like that. And then, where to put the screw? Can't find the screw. Well, where'd the screw go? I don't know where I put the screw. Is it under there? No. Well, come on now. Where'd the screw go? It's not wrapped up in the rag. Well, that's awful strange. I don't know where the screw went. That's not good. Let's see. Did it roll? Shake out the rag here. I don't see it on the floor where I'm sitting. I don't see it. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the screen in. Let's see, is that on this side? Yes, it is. Okay, I don't have to take the other one off. Now, the screen, let's see if I can grab a hold of it without damaging it. now. Come on now. There. Now the way I like to put the screen is I press it in like that. I'll be right back. Now what I use to put that screen in is I take a drill bit and then I take the end that goes in the drill and push it down in there. And what that screen does is it just stops dirt from passing through the carburetor. Now I don't know what happened to that screw, and I'm not too happy that I can't find it. I mean, I don't recall it dropping or anything. It's not in the rag. It's probably right in front of me and I just can't see it. It's not in the carburetor. It's not in there. Did it roll over there? No. It's not by the sockets. Huh. It was just sitting right over in here and then it disappeared. Okay, I'm going to pause you guys and find it real quick. Okay, I finally found it. It was off to the right in the garage. So, I think I'm going to put it like that on the carburetor. Make it a bit easier. And then just push it till it all gets lined up. This here is a little tricky. Getting everything how it should be. I'm sure glad I found this screw, because I wouldn't be finishing if I didn't. And then that just gets snug. And that's fully rebuilt. Well, not completely, like, you know. Wait a minute. I put this on wrong. Great. I gotta take it back off. Alright, I'm gonna pause y'all for that so you don't have to watch me take this cover off again. Okay, I got that plate switch, and the reason why I said it was wrong was because I had put this port here was over here, and they're supposed to be on the same sides on this one. So this one here goes at the bottom, I believe, and then that one goes there. And then I just like to check that it's going to prime before I put it back together. And and another thing I failed to mention was that the primer was not as good as it should have been. It wasn't filling up quite perfectly. The fuel line popped off. And then you get your throttle cable, which hopefully yours isn't broken, or just about broken. And you just have to kind of, this part's a little bit hard. And everything's gotta go in right, otherwise the cable won't work. Ouch, that poked me. Need these pliers here to grab it out of there. There we go. just going to, there we go. Ooh. And then it's got to be in the, it's got like a hole that goes in. There we go. That feels good. That cable's getting replaced pretty soon, because I ain't leaving it like that. And I'm going to wipe off the back of this cover real quick, because it's pretty grimy. Okay, got getting it clean. I hate dirty and grimy stuff. I always try to keep my stuff clean if I can. And then this slides on. Two nuts. This here is a very simply designed trimmer, and I really like it. Now you want to tighten these evenly. Here I'm going to twist the camera a little bit. You want to tighten these evenly, and I'll show you what I mean by that. They don't have to be like at the exact same torque spec, which for something this small I recommend figuring it out so you don't damage anything. And I probably should do that, but I'm not. Just snug is all it needs to be. Try to get that on there. A nut driver would be a lot easier for this. We have a few, but why I'm not using them, I don't know. I'm going to go grab a 5/16 nut driver. It'll make this easier. If you don't have 5/16, 8mm is the closest metric size. Let's see if that'll get it on there or not. I think it is. Let's see, did that do anything? Yes, it did. What I mean by evenly is, okay, that one's snug, so then you're going to come back to this one, if that'll fit in there. Looks like I gotta go back to the ratchet. So this one's snug, and I'm going to come back to this one, get it fully tight, and then come back to this one and finish it up. And then the air filter here, which is new, just line it up with that little hole there. And then the cover goes on. Gotta hook those little guys there, go in there. And then it just kind of snaps in. And something, piece of grass about to fall in the tank. And also, while I'm here, I'm going to take the plug out and look at it, see if it needs cleaned or anything. I won't use these nail nose on those. Make it. This here is one thing I don't like about it, is they put this here part on this plastic cover by the spark plug. I know it's to, protect the spark plug and all that, but it just kind of gets in your way and makes it hard to work around. And there's nowhere for that wire to go, and then you smush it when you get your socket or whatever you have in there. This spark plug's not very old, but I figured while I'm here and I'm doing the carburetor, I'll check the plug. It's a HIPAA spark plug. HIPAA's a good aftermarket brand. It'll come out of there. And that looks brand new. Let's give it a quick spray with carb spray and call it a day. Actually, look down in there. The top of the piston doesn't look terrible. There's a thin coating of carbon, but not a lot. see, that's not want to start in there. The fuel in here is not what you'd call brand new. It's a few months old. I don't ever do the trimming, so yeah, sorry my hand's blocking me. I'm just trying to get this plug in here. I don't do a whole lot of trimming. I don't like doing trimming. It's one of my least favorite things to do. And when you're tightening spark plugs, I recommend using one finger and just getting it to where it stops. You don't want to over tighten spark plugs because you'll damage them and break them off and strip out the cylinder, then your engine's junk, or you gotta try to figure out how to fix the hole. Alright, so I'm gonna bring it outside, which is right there, and try to start it. It did rain last night. It was either last night or early this morning. That's why the gravel looks weird. Okay, give it a couple primes. It does have string in it in case it starts. Let's see, can you guys see? Yeah. We'll let it warm up a little bit. It hasn't been raining in quite a while. The good news is it started on the third pull and it'll stay idling. You couldn't get it to idle at all before. Alright, runs like new. Didn't take it 50 pulls to get started and to just not stay running. So yeah, it turns out this was a success. Usually, I've had quite a few carburetors not turn out after rebuilding. This did run before after it get hot, and it run at full throttle, but it wouldn't run at idle. Alright, so I'm gonna clean up and go in because it's pretty late. So see you guys later. Like and subscribe.